It's episode 4 of Lucas and Moe Versus the World. Damn, how can I forget the name of my own show? Anyways, stay tuned for a really dope show. We're about to go in.
Welcome back, knuckleheads. Lucas and Moe versus the world. Today's topics: Watchmen TV series. Is it necessary? Ant-Man and Wasp production wraps. What do we think this movie is going to be? Zack Snyder, is he good or not? But first, Moe, the first topic we have for you: The Walking Dead, as the once great show finally jumped the shark.
You know what?
Well,
go ahead. I'll start this off with.
Let you go, Moe.
Okay. I'll start this
I'm
off with the post.
This one.
No. This one is very easy. I'll start this off because I started watching The Walking Dead from episode 1 and I was snatched. They had me all the way to season 4. I was regular. Every Sunday I would come home early. I would set my plate because I watch TV and eat at the same time. But for me to watch The Walking Dead, I would set my plate, make sure everything is ready to go because I'm watching this on AMC. It's not pre-recorded, nothing. So yeah, it was religion for me. It was a must watch. Like if I was dating anyone at the time, you know, between the hours of 9 to 10 on a Sunday night, don't hit me up. I will not be answering. And so when we got into season 5, yeah, that's it. But before I even say anything, I saw a post on Facebook. Right? From, I think you might know, it's a mutual. I'm not going to say the name, but it's a mutual. This person said, "Oh, I missed 2 weeks of The Walking Dead and I didn't see any Facebook posts spoiling. Does this mean The Walking Dead is a lost show?"
Fucking show is trash. Moe's trying to be nice.
Come on,
fucking
let me
show
be
is
nice.
Trash.
Let me just finish my good cop. Let me finish my good cop.
This show. Go ahead. Finish your good cop.
No, I'm here to tell you that The Walking Dead is Walking Dead. It's done. It's on its zombie legs at this point. I won't be surprised if AMC after this season calls the next season a wrap or the next 2 seasons a wrap. I mean, we've grown with these characters. I love the characters. I love some of the actors, but it's a miss for me at this point. I think what it was is after the governor, they just started meandering and they weren't giving us anything good. And I'm pretty sure they thought with Negan in season 7, at the end of season 7 and season 8, was it? Wait, time out. Am I jumping ahead? With Negan at the end of season 6. Into season 7 with the cliffhanger. So this was, I'll say this before I let Lucas go because I feel like I'm rapping. A friend of mine who we used to watch the show together says he fell off way longer than I did. He tried watching season 4, but he fell off. It's like this show is just, again, it's a thing where you do your first 8 episodes to be trash and then the next 8 are going to be, where the action is. That's a bad mix for me. He was upset that they ended season 6 with that cliffhanger, and he felt like they started season 7 with that episode because they wanted people to watch it. It worked. Everyone watched season 7's episode 1, maybe 2 and 3, and if you go look at the numbers for season 7, the viewership dropped after the first 3 episodes. If that doesn't tell you something, and look at the numbers at the end of the season, the numbers are the lowest season finale for The Walking Dead ever in Walking Dead history was season 7. If that doesn't tell you something, it tells you that the show doesn't have, it doesn't carry the weight it once did. And I'm done being good cop. I'm just gonna let Lucas trash on this for like the
fucking show is fucking trash.
Yeah, okay.
Let's be realistic here, people. Don't watch this shit because y'all got hooked. This show has not been creatively good. It's the 4th season of it. You ask me, hey, Lucas, how could you know this? You don't even watch The Walking Dead.
Oh.
I don't have to watch The Walking Dead. The fucking reviews tell me everything I need to know about this show. Like, this show is not remotely close to being good. At this point, this shit is Friends, like season 8, where you knew this show was shit, and people still flock to watch it because they cater to their audience. You all know their audience. That last cliffhanger again from season 6 to season 7 was bullshit, and it set y'all up, and all y'all flocked to go see season 7 premiere. To what? Like, introduce a character that most of you all now admit is not good in Negan. Like, come on, dude. What was the fucking point of this show? The Walking Dead is now only watched by people who have nothing better to do with themselves on the Sunday.
On Sundays, yeah. Or reactors.
Walking Dead. Here's the thing. At one point, The Walking Dead contended
Game of Thrones.
Yes. As the show to watch on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, The Walking Dead is a show that can only exist as long as Game of Thrones is not on. If that does not tell you something.
Right.
Like, if you would, at one point, 2-3 years ago, if you would have played them shows at the same time, it would legitimately be a split of which show would you watch. That split don't exist anymore. People like, man, fuck Walking Dead. You don't fuck about that show. The characters supposedly are no longer interesting, and the stories are no longer interesting. And again, for me not watching the show, but me reading the story that they take in a main cast member from The Walking Dead, removed him from there to put him on Fear of The Walking Dead. Are you serious?
But you know what?
Because that's supposed to be a prequel show.
But you know what?
But the Fear of the Walking Dead is a better show.
It's actually, yes, that's what I was about to say. Fear of the Walking Dead is a better show right now.
Here's the weird part, Mo. Fear of the Walking Dead was always a better show. People who love The Walking Dead just wouldn't admit it.
No.
Because the flagship is what they care for. It's kind of like people who didn't want to admit for years that Law and Order SVU was a better show than the original Law and Order because they were so hooked on the original. That's how you are with The Walking Dead. Like, The Walking Dead could end tomorrow and no one would care. Fear the Walking Dead is the better show. Like, at this point, in all honesty, I would want to ask somebody who watches this show, why do you continue to watch it?
I mean, they can say fuck.
If you tell me some bullshit connection to fucking comic books, that's bullshit.
No.
Because
they can say fuck.
At that point, you cross the mediums. At this point, like, come on.
I'm not trying to be shady or anything, but
if that's what gets you, come on. In all honesty, at this point, you're only watching it because you've been watching it. It's equivalent to the mentality that people have that never get anything good in life. Because you're used to bad, you accept bad no matter what. That's how you Walking Dead fans are right now. You're accepting bad. You're accepting that this fucking show sucks. And you're going to keep on watching it. But has the show jumped the shark? That motherfucker jumped the shark 3 years ago.
It jumped. Yeah, exactly. It jumped in season 5.
Man, they even pulled the perfect jump the shark trick. Bring in a character that you all will love when the creativity of the show is at an all-time low. Introduce a new character.
Yep.
And it did it. And y'all fell for it because the new character's in comic books, and you're like, "Oh, he's so close to the comic books, but he's not."
It's and the worst part about it. The worst part about it is I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I love him. He's a very good actor.
I'm gonna say that's a reach there, but okay.
No, he's okay. He's a pretty good actor. Is that better? Or he's a good actor.
He's serviceable. There you go. That's a better way to put it.
Damn, man. Damn it. Let me. Okay, you know what? But I love him.
If I asked you to name something he was great in, you couldn't really name it. Actually, something he was really, really good in, you couldn't really name it.
You won't like it.
If I asked you something,
you know what?
He was decent
if you ask
in,
me
you'll be like, oh, okay. There's a couple things he was decent at.
No. He has charisma. Okay, let me say he does have charisma. He can. But this was a bad role for him. I
know dogs that have charisma though, Mo. Not gonna be enough. Shit, Spud McKenzie had charisma.
He's really reaching with this one. Like, Negan is not a good character. Negan is not a good comic book character. Negan is just like.
There you go.
You know what?
It's a shitty role for an actor who, while not great, fairly good still deserves better.
No, he does deserve better. He deserves better than this. And no,
He better go back to. He needs to go back to Supernatural at this point.
Pretty
Just get it over with.
Pretty much.
At least Supernatural and his best comparison too. Supernatural's been on for what, 12, 13 years?
Jesus Christ. You know what?
It's been on 7 years. And when you talk about Supernatural jumping the shark, which I used to love Supernatural 4 or 5 years ago.
But you know what's funny about Supernatural?
They embraced the point that they jumped the shark.
Thank you.
That's what you got to do. You got to make it as silly as humanly possible. Like, so y'all gonna still like the episode Supernatural had where the kids went back, back in time for the alternate time universe where they were actually stars of the show. That's admitting that we jumped the shark.
Wasn't that like the 100th episode? Wasn't that the 100th episode? I feel like it was a special, but where they went back to where they were. Oh my god!
Walking Dead just gets more serious and more serious and more serious instead of admitting like we're shit, and we know we're shit.
Can I be really honest with a lot of Walking Dead fans? Sure. You're probably not gonna like it. Mm-hmm. Walking Dead killed the zombie genre.
Yes, absolutely.
The reason we don't get good
the zombie genre was on a high before the fucking Walking Dead came out.
The reason, just like I would say, Twilight killed the vampire. In my opinion, killed the vampire genre. But
no, Twilight did. Twilight perfectly killed the vampire genre.
Yeah.
That and Vampire Diaries. Let's roll too.
Yeah, when they kind of made it like tweenish, it killed it. But no, Walking Dead absolutely destroyed the zombie genre because it's like, come on, man, we were getting prime cut zombie movies, and all of a sudden, Walking Dead went too long. You see, the thing I feel about Walking Dead is it went too long. It's something they felt like they were having so much success with, and which is fine. It just went too long. It just went too long.
This is a show that at max should have ran 4 years.
Deadass. After The Governor, you should have ended it. Because now they will find out that there's no better villain than the Governor is. But, that's neither here nor there. The Walking Dead, I feel like they should call it quits now. AMC probably feels like they still have fans, and they're probably going to keep it going for another 2 years.
Still making money?
Yeah.
So they're not going to. The show's going to fucking run until it stops making money.
Which is unfair because
Walking Dead people are still going to tune in, just like Friends people did, just like ER people did.
Right.
Like, come on, y'all already in a loop at this point.
Yeah. Anyways.
While we're saying to jump the shark and it sucks balls now, people that like the show, you're not going to care. You're still going to watch this piece of shit.
Again, this is coming from someone who watched it all the way through to season 5. Season 5 was where I was like, I can't keep doing this to myself. It started off slow. It ended slow. They promised us season 6 was going to be better. No.
And it wasn't.
It wasn't. It ended the way it ended, and everyone was like, oh my God, I can't wait for season 7. You know what my friend said? This is what my friend said. He said, what if The Walking Dead season 6 actually killed the people it killed in season 7's episode 1? If you went balls to the wall hard at the end of season 6, I feel like you would have opened season 7 a lot bigger because everyone at this point would want to see what where do we go from here?
You want to see what happens from the mayhem.
Boom. But they felt
series, and then the fucking show is too long. Like,
it's too long.
Why is this not 10 episodes a year max?
Yes, it really
why the fuck
should
is
be
it so many filler episodes?
It's
fucking
16.
I would say he watched it to season 5.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I watched the first season. I had a family member who was in the first season. He died at the end of the first season, and I stopped watching. There was no reason to watch after that.
But no, that first
show
season
never hooked me.
That first season is, to me, the best, or maybe one of the best first seasons of a TV show out. It's very short.
If my family member didn't die, maybe I would have watched more. But I gave up after that. Like,
Anyways, while we're hearing about Lucas's family member, let's talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp movie. So that we know after the Ant-Man movie ended, we know with Marvel and with the genre, we're always going to get sequels, and we're going to get 3 movies out of each. Ant-Man and the Wasp was announced, and it comes out next year. It's wrapped. It's probably going to go into reshoots, while they're still shooting. or finally finishing Infinity War. So before Infinity War, it comes out after Infinity War. So, and we know those characters are going to be in Infinity War. So they're probably not going to do their reshoots till that summer or till the beginning of the year. But whatever, it's wrapped. I want to ask you this question before we go into our predictions. What did you think of Ant-Man, the first movie?
I thought it was funny.
Okay.
But it was funny.
All right.
It's one of the more entertaining films of the Marvel MCU.
And is it because of the title character?
It never took itself seriously.
Right.
It never took itself seriously.
Is it because of the title character? Or is it because of the supporting cast?
The supporting cast.
Okay.
Ant-Man is forgettable in his movie.
Pretty much.
He's forgettable in this movie.
Michael Pena.
Oh my god. Michael Pena fucking killed him, and T.I. killed this movie.
Yo.
Ant-Man 1. They killed the movie, Joe.
And that's funny because that's T.I. And T.I. is a bad actor that gets... Hey, did you see T.I. in Takers, man? He's a bad actor. And
yeah, man, everybody was bad in Takers, though.
But no. The thing about T.I. is what I would have expected...
I'm not making an argument with you that T.I. can act.
So he's a bad actor.
Making that argument.
But again,
yes, he is a bad actor.
For a bad actor, the caliber of T.I. to take over that movie or to take... to kind of like be one of the people who shine in the movie versus Paul Rudd, I was like, come on, something's off. Because
he was really everything. His weird part, Ant-Man was forgettable.
Yes,
his villain was forgettable.
Very
like it's only Michael Pena and T.I. made it a tolerable movie, and I'm like, dude, this is fun.
And
it was because of them too.
I usually like Elizabeth Lilly, but I think this was one of her weaker ones.
Yeah.
She was very forgettable in this. Very, very, very forgettable.
Which makes you wonder. Are you looking forward to Ant-Man 2? What to say? Are you looking forward to it?
Me? No. I will tell you the movies. No. But I will tell again. I am looking forward to 3 out of the 4 major comic book movies coming out next year. I'm looking forward to 3 out of them.
Did you say 3 out the 4?
Wait, how many are we getting?
How many movies are you leaving out there?
Oh no, I said the major. I said the major ones. No, like look,
what counts as major?
Marvel and DC, major? Because Marvel Studios, Marvel.
So you're not going to count any X-Men movie as major at this point. Any X-Men movie?
I think for me, the X-Men movies are like these sleeper hits because if
the biggest comic book movie that comes out next year is not by Marvel or DC.
Are you serious? Are you gonna say? Please don't say New Mutants.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
It's this guy in a red costume. Whose sequel comes out next year. Who was the surprise hit of 2 years ago?
Oh.
Dude, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man.
Oh, you know what? I take that back.
You gotta be kidding me, dude.
That back. Go ahead, let him know. Go ahead and let him know why. Because I'm not. Yes, I was about to say I'm not going to say the name because I failed. But to be honest, I think will lightning strike twice for Deadpool though?
Fox has 3 movies.
Yes,
Fox has 3 movies.
New Mutants, Deadpool 2, and Dark Phoenix. And I think all 3. Come out next year. Hold on. I'll say this: all 3 are sleeper hits because I'm not as excited.
Everyone's expecting.
Yes, I'm not as excited for Deadpool 2. I mean, Deadpool 2 is the bigger one of the sleeper hits, but I'm not as excited for that.
Deadpool 2 is going to be the big one. That's going to be the movie.
Oh, it's going to be the one that if it's great, it's going to hide the other 2 Fox movies. It's going to hide it.
I think New Mutants on its own is going to live and survive off the point it's going to be so much different than anything else.
Oh my God, You know what? I take that back. I take that back.
I see you're letting your mind tinker. Let's not get sidetracked here, Mo.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. You're right.
Man, Wasp.
No.
That's what we were talking about. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it, and I don't get excited for more.
Really?
But I'm excited for it.
Why? Michael Pena is coming back?
You know why? Michael Pena. I'm not gonna lie. I fucking love almost everything he's in at this point, man. I even watched Chips the other day.
Ew.
And as bad as Chips is,
it was horrible.
I could only get through it because at least he's funny in it.
He is funny though. He is funny.
Like I have no faith in the heroes or the villain in this Ant-Man series because the first time they weren't good. But
no.
As long as the supporting cast is as strong as it was the first time, it should be a dope movie.
Yes.
It's gonna be one of those movies that escapism. Only problem's gonna be it's coming after Deadpool 2. And Deadpool and Ant-Man
are the same movie.
Fuck if they don't target the same audience, man.
They're the same.
I know Deadpool is rated R,
but they both
of them target the same audience, and they're the same movie.
Yeah, they both target
these movies.
Van Wilder audience.
Yes, and I think that's what's going to hurt Ant-Man
and the Wasp.
Along with whatever the fuck happens in Infinity Wars, because I'm highly confused on how do you continue.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And make an Ant-Man and Wasp movie after
Infinity War. That makes no sense.
You're fucking up your timeline because whatever the fuck happens in Infinity Wars, there should not be an Ant-Man and Wasp movie after that.
They should die. They should die. Hold on. They should die. They should die. Unless
they set it up in the beginning and let you know this is before Infinity Wars.
But then it's still kind of bullshit.
They do something like that. Okay, it is. Oh, it's complete bullshit.
It's still very bullshit.
It would help explain why we would have this movie.
Because again, it's like you said, it's fucking up a timeline where, it's like, oh, we just saw you.
We did it though. If you just fuck up a timeline with Homecoming, they don't care.
That's right. They don't care at this point. They make these movies for people.
Kevin Feige, that's what I'm calling him now. Kevin Feige had to come back. I'm calling him Feige. Kevin Feige had to come back and explain
the timeline
because of Spider-Man that told you they fucked it up, and they hey, we just wanted this movie. We didn't care. That's why you get because in all honesty, no one's calling for an Ant-Man sequel. It's not necessary to make an Ant-Man sequel. You're gonna get one. Enjoy it. You're gonna get one.
Are you? I am not excited for it, but what you said just kind of put a lot of things in my mind. Even though Deadpool 2 might not be the mega hit Deadpool 1 was, it will still make money.
I would say Deadpool 2 will easily outgrow Deadpool 1.
No. That's the thing. It will. You know what? It will make money, but it might. When I say mega hit, I feel like it's not. I don't think it's gonna be better than Deadpool 1. I don't think it's. I don't know,
man.
Look.
I don't know.
Look.
It's first of all places they could go.
First of all, let's talk about the dude they got to play Cable. James Brolin.
The same guy who's Thanos a month before.
What has James Brolin done that you can say, wow, James Brolin, like, oh my god,
like, old men.
Huh?
Country for Old Men.
Do you give that one to James Brolin, or is that Javier Bardem?
No, because James Brolin was the guy who was hunting in that movie. He was trying to kill. Not James. Why the fuck am I calling him James? Josh
Brolin, because his dad is James, right?
Yeah.
But so you give him that movie because I don't give him that movie. But he's done a lot.
Sicario.
Wait,
Sicario?
Was he in Sicario?
You don't give him credit for that?
Was he in Sicario? Yes. Oh my god! Dude, it's again. You know the thing about those movies, No Country for Old Men and Sicario. He's playing.
Let me phrase this, but phrase it right. You don't think about these movies. When I hear his name, I think about those movies. I don't
because I think of what's his name, Del Toro.
He got nominated for multiple Oscars. I think about True Grit, which he was fucking amazing in.
Okay.
Like I think about these movies when I think of his name. Inherent Vice.
You know what?
Dude,
I'll give it to you.
He has movies.
I'll give it to you, but I don't. I'm not big on him. I will say this
because you're wondering how is he going to play Cable.
That's it.
I think that's what you're going to get on. But keep in mind, one, while he's very serious as an actor, he has unbelievable comic timing.
Oh no, Sicario. Let's go back to Sicario.
Amazing. Yeah. Some of them conversations,
yes,
straight comedy,
fucking,
and it was so delivered, so deadpan that you'd be like, wow, dude, he's gonna fucking kill Deadpool. Okay, but again, I got hopes. I got a little hopes because Michael is. I gotta look up Ant-Man and Wasp to make sure that he's actually in this movie.
But you know
he's
what?
then my excitement goes from 100 to 0.
But that's the thing.
He's not.
Do you think they're going to heavily focus on him again? Because now you have to bring in Evangeline.
I don't need him to do that. I hope they don't do that.
No, because look at it. You have to bring in Evangeline Lilly and make her a bigger focal point.
I didn't like her in the first movie.
Exactly, but you got to
see her.
You got to make her bigger now because she's the Wasp. She has the suit on. You can't. You look. How are they going to because again, think about this. Ant-Man was a team-up movie. As much as no one wants to believe it, it was a team-up movie.
It was.
So now
it was led by the other members of the team.
Now you're bringing in another member of the team into no, come on, dude. You really
non-talented member of the team.
Okay.
You say that, the non-talented member of the team. She was not at all interesting in Ant-Man 1. I didn't care for her.
She wasn't.
And for her to now, for them to steal Ant-Man sequel and put her in it is very interesting.
No, it's because again, Ant-Man and the Wasp are a thing in the comic books, or a thing. This was when it was Hank Pym, her father, Michael Douglas, who was also very forgettable in the first one.
He was okay. I didn't mind Michael Douglas.
Look, man.
I mean, he didn't have much to stick out in, but I didn't mind him.
I mean, he
fell into the background very well.
Very well.
I really hated her in the first movie. Now that I really think about it.
Thinking about it, man, I'm look. It's. I feel like it's gonna do Ant-Man 1 numbers. It's not gonna go beyond Ant-Man 1. And so I said this.
We're into predictions. So you're thinking,
it's
going to do Ant-Man now.
Maybe
what did Ant-Man 1 do?
You gotta look it up because
35. I want to say. 80.
Yeah.
In that area, it did.
Mm-hmm.
So you seeing it duplicating that? I'm not.
Maybe
I'm not sure if it's going to be able to.
Wow. So
I'm not sure.
You're like so. And the reason I say it is because of your explanation in the beginning when you said it's coming off the heels of Deadpool 2. If it's coming, if you were before Deadpool, I can maybe give you 7. But you're coming.
Shit, the first one made $520 million. My bad.
Right,
shit.
I'll say maybe if I'll give you 100 more million. I'll give you 100 more million. 620.
I can't say that. I can't say that.
And again, if you look at it next year, like you've pointed to me, there are 8 of these movies coming out. It starts off with Black Panther. Goes to who's next? I think Phoenix.
New Mutants, I believe it's next.
New Mutants. Infinity War.
Phoenix is.
Is there? Do you care the order they come out in? Do you care the order they come out in?
The only reason the order matters is because it affects Ant-Man's box.
Okay. So let's go. Black Panther, which is going to
Ant-Man comes out. Ant-Man. Oh no, we're not going to talk about Black Panther. We're doing another show on that one because because Ant-Man is going to make a lot more anything than I do.
No. Black Panther is going to crush in February. You know why. You and I both know why.
I don't give a fuck how many black people celebrate Black History Month in February. Black Panther's not going to make no money. It's not going to make that much money.
We'll see.
Black people don't drive movie tickets.
This is true. They're an addition, though. They're a huge addition to it.
They're an addition. Yes, an addition. But to kill, I mean, again, we got to do a show. Mm-hmm. We rank all of this genre of films next year, potential box office.
Wow.
Because again, I have Ant-Man comes out July 6th. I want to say off the top of my head, Deadpool 2 comes out. Yeah, because Deadpool 2 comes out June 18th. Okay,
so
I believe.
So Black Panther, whatever. Then in May we get Infinity War, which is again $1 billion because the Avengers. Then we get Deadpool.
You sure about that one though,
dude? It's not going to make. Hold on. I'll say this. It's not going to make Avengers 1. You know what? I'll stand by.
Nothing will ever touch Avengers 1.
I'll stand by.
You can drop that. It's Infinity War's hopes is Civil War.
Okay, yeah.
Are their hopes there?
You know what? I'll say it beats Avengers 1 opening.
Yeah.
It beats. No, it's going to beat the opening for. Listen. This is a movie that Marvel has set up since Thor 1.
Don't even matter. At this point, it's not going to matter the setup. It's going to matter
the execution.
It matters the amount of time that's been between everything.
But you understand,
206 million. 106 is what the first Avengers did, right?
Yes.
I can see Infinity War is on like 185, maybe. I think I'm slightly pushing it.
Who opened? Didn't somebody open at 225?
Yeah, Star Wars.
Oh, my bad. Different fucking movie. Different fucking movie.
I mean, my bad. Star Wars opened up at 250.
Oh, okay. So totally different
like,
movie. I'm saying, so no comic book movie opened 225?
The highest comic book movie opening is still Avengers at 206.
Wow. It has to be. I'm sorry. Okay, we'll do the predictions later. But okay, this is a billion.
That's something.
Yeah, that's a totally different show because we need time on that one.
But just for Ant-Man, that's what we talk about. Ant-Man box office predictions.
So going through. I'm saying going through. Infinity War is $1 billion. Maybe not $1.4 billion, $1 billion even. That's fine. $1 billion for me. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool.
I'm not sure.
Deadpool made 735,
775.
Oh, whoa! My bad. Yes. So 775. And hold on, and that was
Deadpool 2.
And that was in February.
No, that's in February.
Yeah. So Deadpool 2.
Depending on it, Deadpool 2 can be $1 billion. It wouldn't be surprising
because you get a team up in this one. You get Cable. You get
it wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah, okay, so if again, based on the fact that Deadpool 2 comes out before Ant-Man, oh yeah, Ant-Man is crushed. Especially you got an Infinity War, you saw him there. I feel like depending on what he does in Infinity War,
and New Mutants comes out first because New Mutants comes out April 13th.
Bruh. Depending on how he does in Infinity War or how his character is used in Infinity War, I don't see Ant-Man doing more than doing up to 700. Like 6, I said 650, and that's where I stopped.
It's loaded. Like next year's box office is completely loaded, and that's another story we're gonna have to do.
Yeah.
On how these movies going to play. Because you also around that same time, Incredibles 2. Because I was even wrong about Deadpool's Day. Deadpool Day right now is June 1. Incredibles is June 15th.
So
Jurassic World, which could be the biggest hit of the summer.
Oh my
comes
god!
Out June 15th.
Oh man,
then Ant-Man and Wasp comes out the week after that. It's a bunch of kids movies along with The Nun.
Oh,
just the next one and the
650. 650 is
Teen
generous.
Titans Go, and then Mission Impossible 6 comes out. Man. It's I'm not saying 6 anything for no Ant-Man movie because I don't.
I guess because of again,
an audience.
We've just
it could be maybe you was right. It could do Ant-Man 1 numbers. It could. If not, maybe a little less. I wouldn't be surprised if it came in like 480.
Man.
Would be surprising.
So, question.
And I don't think that's a fail for them for Ant-Man.
That's what I was about to ask. That's the next question. Is that a disappointment?
It's not. Well, it all depends. If they are sticking closer to Ant-Man 1's budget, which was like 120, then no, it's not a fail. If they do their Marvel thing, and what I mean by Marvel thing is this fucking budget balloons to like 175.
Oh, that's a fail.
That's not a good thing because, again, it all depends though. Are they going to market Ant-Man? Or are they going to coast off the point that Infinity Wars came out a month or so before? And they're like, nah, we're just going to coast this out.
Again, we have to look at the budget because if we look at the budget and it's closer, like you said, to Ant-Man 1, then I could see how they
what's the expectations that they have for Ant-Man?
That's the thing. Do they even have any expectation? Because again,
do they really
because
care?
Like Doctor Strange, like Guardians of the Galaxy 1, like Ant-Man 1, I feel like they just put those movies out because
Ant-Man could be the lowest. Nah, I'm not gonna say that.
I know what you're gonna say, but I'm glad you didn't.
I was about to say it's gonna be the lowest. It would pull in the least amount of money out of all the movies in this genre next year, but that's not gonna be true.
No,
because New Mutants is not set up to make money. New Mutants is set up more
to show you
like a horror film.
Yes,
horror films don't make that much. So and then also all the films we named, still I mean, you could have put in Teen Titans Go because that comes out next year also.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. I slept on Teen Titans Go, and I regretted it.
And we could have put in Venom, because Venom comes out next year too.
Dude, you know we haven't talked about the one DC has coming out in December.
And Aquaman comes out. I don't talk about Aquaman because it comes out late December. Aquaman has Aquaman and Dark Phoenix have. I don't know who the fuck right now at Fox is plotting these X-Men movies, but the times that they're giving them and these release dates
are awesome.
Prime. Like,
awesome.
They have New Mutants come out April 13th. Mm-hmm. Then you have Deadpool come out June 1st. Yes. You're having Dark Phoenix come out November the 2nd. You're getting a fall release X-Men movie. That's a fucking hell of a release date.
You know what's funny? We also didn't talk about Sony's project.
Because DC is going to fucking own.
December.
I mean, well, not DC. My bad. Warner Brothers is going to fucking own. Not just that. Warner Brothers is going to own late November.
Yes.
Until December, they own it between Fantastic Beasts sequel coming out around that time.
Oh my god!
Is Bumblebee Universal or Warner Brothers?
No, Bumblebee's Universal because that's the Transformers, and I think they're Universal Paramount. It's a Universal Paramount thing.
Yeah, Universal Paramount.
Yeah.
But you still got that Aquaman, like Creed 2.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Creed is Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Creed is Warner Brothers.
Creed is a Warner Brothers movie. Warner Brothers is gonna kill late in the year. And there's no Star Wars films on the horizon there.
Nope.
Disney's blowing their load pretty early in the year.
Yeah.
So Warner Brothers is gonna dominate late in the year. Aquaman has a whole holiday season to itself right now. That is fucking crazy.
And you know what is great about that is that Warner Brothers sat down after debacle with Batman v Superman, because I will give you that. I will call it a debacle. Because even though they released it on the UE, and they've funny enough, this is gonna help us switch over into the next topic. Warner Brothers has sat down and they decided to change directions by switching out directors for the creative behind the DC Cinematic Universe. But before we even get all the way out that far, we'll talk about a smaller project from Warner Brothers coming out, I think next year. The Watchmen on HBO. The question I believe is, do we really need it? I will answer. I will let you answer. I'll let you answer before I go.
Normally, I love shitting on this genre. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy it. It's like it gives me a certain amount of peace in my heart when I get to shit on these movies. And I thought I was going to shit on this one, but I'm not.
Why? Did you see the creators behind it?
Nope. Didn't look at any of it. What I took was that he who should not be named until later fucking made the world's most unnecessarily crappily confusing fucking film. The Watchmen is one of the few series that could benefit from being stretched out in episodes and over time, and giving these characters time to breathe. Because I do believe it's way too much for a movie. But if you told me that HBO is going to do an 8 to 10, not 13, 8 to 10 on this and try to pull it off, because it's HBO, and HBO is famous for doing it for like 2 to 3 years and saying, okay, we're done.
Yes.
That's perfect for the Watchmen.
I mean, think about Deadwood. They ran Deadwood for about as much as they wanted to run it, and then called it a quits, because they could have carried on Deadwood, but like, it's fine. Like, we'll leave it here. But yeah. So you said it could work, right?
It could. Not only could it work, it could be great. Not good. Not good like the rest of this genre and these. I mean, this is their chance to pull off a Dark Knight. No, it's their chance to pull up a Dark Knight type of good film. Ooh. I mean, some shit. So some shit that comes out. Still, like, I'm talking about, like, right. I know people compare it with Spawn, and I know a lot of people like Spawn. I did kind of like animated series of Spawn, but I'm taking it to another level. I'm saying this one go to a place where you just would just destroy and fuck your head up. That's the best way to put it.
All right, I feel you. But I say this. the question was, do we need it? My answer is yes. We need this series. WB/DC needs this series. And I want to say, because of who shall not be named till later in this episode, they're really showing you that they are cutting off anything this dude has done for them. They don't care. Because there's some directors that would, do something and you don't go back and touch that project for anything.
Mm-hmm.
WB saying, fuck that.
That he fucked up.
Yes.
That he fucked up. And they're going back and saying, we're going to fix it.
Because again, this was something that everyone thought, because the Watchmen, again, is to comic book readers and some people who read graphic novels will tell you this was one of the best in the genre at its time. Alan Moore wrote this as grounded as possible. He kept it, even though there were fantastic characters like Dr. Manhattan, but he kept it really, really grounded and really simple. The movie theatrical cut might have just been, this movie had 3 cuts, dude. Theatrical cut, director's cut.
Not gonna go into that yet, Mo. At least something else altogether.
Yeah. I don't want to call this Spawn level good, but this could be, again, the reason I say Spawn level is because it's animated and it's on HBO. This could be better than Spawn. Like, this has a chance. And why I say better is because I've seen the creatives behind it, and I'm behind them. And there were people, again, you know what? We'll talk about that in the next segment. Like, it's so hard to really go in on this, but yes, it is needed for WB to show we hear you, and we're, to the fans and to some of the fans that are split about this movie and the movie and about a lot of the other WB stuff. We've heard you, and we are starting to fix things. And this is the first thing that we're going to show you, that everyone of the cult worshippers of ZS thought this is untouchable. WB said, fuck it, we'll touch it. We won't just even touch it. We will because what I'm hearing is it is all scrapped. It's all scrapped. They're doing
ideas initially that he who should not be named attempted to come up with a show, or any ideas before then, they threw everything away.
Yep, and they went back to the drawing board, and this is when I heard it at first. When I heard it, because again, I like the movie, I love the movie, but you know what? Let's just go into the next. Let's just go into the next topic, because it's hard. It's hard. Let's just go into the last topic of the day. Did you tell Zack Snyder?
It's gonna be hard, because I'm gonna have to contain Mo, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know that now. As this new segment on our fun little podcast here called Good or Nah. I like the name or Nah.
Yeah, let's
you can put an or nah on everything, Joe. So first subject of our Good or Nah segment is Zack Snyder. Oh. And I know y'all would be thinking we brought him up because everything with the Justice League and everything with all the comic book shit. And I would say you're right. You're 100% right. That's why we brought him up, because it needs to be said. We need to understand, is he a good director or nah? And if he's not one, why isn't he one? So I'll quickly go through all of Zack Snyder's films and all of Zack Snyder's work.
This is scary. So, I'm scared.
We're going to go real fast, too.
I'm sure.
Real fast here. His debut film, Dawn of the Dead, released in 2004.
Great.
I'm gonna let you give these one-word answers. I'm gonna say Dawn of the Dead, pretty good movie. A remake, not much talent necessary. Following movie, 300.
For what it was, it's pretty good.
I'm gonna go back on that. I will hold my opinions to myself for a minute on that.
Okay.
We followed up 300 with 2009 aforementioned Watchmen. Pass. And Mo said, this is out of Mo's mouth, it had 3 cuts. 3 cuts of a movie. 3 cuts of a movie. Come on, man.
No, it had the theatrical cut, then it had a director's cut, then it had an ultimate edition. I think
Here's the thing,
the first Ultimate Edition.
Explain this to everybody. Explain everybody to this. Okay, when you hear the word director's cut and you hear ultimate cut, those are both director's cuts.
I think no. Hold on.
So this motherfucker did a director's cut.
The first director's cut was 3 hours. Then the second was about, I think, 4. You know, it was bordering 4 hours.
The reason why. I'm gonna break down each movie. But right now we just ran
What's the next one?
Everybody know who we're off of. The next one is 2010's Legends of the Guardians, the Owl movie.
Pass.
And he followed that up with
Sucker.
Oh, he followed that up with I'm at a loss for words to announce Sucker Punch. But
I thought it had good
visuals.
visuals.
Sucker Punch was also the first movie that Zack did where he had complete creative control over everything. Now, before in other movies, and we will talk about in other movies the type of control he had. Sucker Punch was the first time he had complete control over everything. And then after Sucker Punch, it's 2013's Man of Steel.
Oh, you forget that he produced the sequel to 300?
We ain't talking about nothing about him producing.
Okay.
I ain't counting nothing about
Man of Steel. Loved it.
We are talking about him as a director.
Loved it.
Of course, Mo would. Yeah. So follow Man of Steel with Batman versus Superman. Dawn of Justice, a.k.a. the worst name for a movie ever made, a.k.a. Mr. Ultimate Edition Part 2.
Yeah, let's talk about the Ultimate Edition. Batman v Superman only has one cut to me, and that's the Ultimate Cut. Moving on.
And we'll talk about that also. And then Mr. Snyder's last film, Justice League.
You can't even call that his movie because it's...
You know what? If I don't call it his movie, then I'm not giving him credit. I'm going to call it his movie.
Okay.
Because his name is on the tagline.
Directed by Zack Snyder.
No.
And I think the critics punished Warner Brothers for that.
So we're going to try to make this quick. And I'm going to say we're going to try to make this quick. And I'm not quick in the sense it's going to last for a short time, but we're going to try to do this.
Yeah.
So, again, they could be quick thoughts. Some of these movies don't require a lot of thoughts.
Okay, from
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead was pretty good. I think it's because it was a smaller movie. He was more contained, and he didn't have much to do. He didn't have to do too much for that one. So yeah, that's why Dawn of the Dead was really good.
We will agree on that. He didn't have much to do with it. He was hired as a shooter more than anything else for Dawn of the Dead. And
again, the visuals were great. You could tell that he has talent as a cinematographer and a shooter, like you said. So keep it moving.
300.
I said for what it is. Again, that was his first comic book movie, and if you looked at the graphic novel shot for shot, he gave us that. There was no need. He didn't change the dialogue from the comics to the movie, so he didn't have to do any of that. I think it was again direct comic book translation of the comic book to live action. So for what it was good.
Okay.
If you've never read it, in
2006,
you can't understand
me and my cousin went to go see this in theaters opening weekend. It ended. We left out. He said, "Wow, that was bad."
Wow. Then I guess
whole story about 300.
Then I guess maybe if you read it, it'd be bad to you because that is exactly what it reads, what it looks like on the books.
I already know what I think about comic books.
No, I understand. But yeah, that no. I'm glad.
If you cannot, you know what? I'm very quick sidetrack here, but I'm gonna make a quick real point about what you just said. As you said, it translates perfectly well to the comic book.
Yeah.
And if you didn't like the movie, most likely you will not like the comic book because he did a direct translation from one medium to the
yes.
Great. You know who also did that? Tyler Perry when he did For Color Girls Only. And that shit fucking failed miserably because it was the same problem. If you do not know how to adapt something from one media to the next, you're going to get a shit product.
So let me ask you
300 and all of it's painted on ab glory is still not a good product.
Okay. Let me ask you a question then. Did you guys see Sin City?
Yes.
What'd you think about that?
It wasn't as bad as it could have been.
You know what? That was also so I'm guessing the problem here is direct translations more so the actual.
Oh no, we're going to talk about one of the problems because I can easily point out one of the issues because it's a Zack Snyder issue.
Okay, go for it.
But next one, Watchmen 2009.
Man, you're not gonna make me do this.
Tree cuts.
You're not gonna make me do this one.
Tree cuts.
Can I pass on this? Can I pass on this?
You can, because I'm gonna shit all over it. So you can pass on it. After that one, 2010's of the Guardians, which is based off of an amazing kids book, by the way.
You know who loves that movie? Anthony. No words.
Nope.
None? Okay.
Because his thing, that movie is not bad. It's not
good though. Yeah, that's a very in between movie. That is
not really in between.
But like you said, for a very, very good kids book, that should have been a better movie than it was.
If I judged it based off of the book,
it's trash.
It would be fucking horrible. And I'm not basing off the book because I don't believe in doing
that. So
medium basing it off of the book.
You were pretty fair when I'll say this. You're pretty fair when it comes to that.
If I had never read the book, I would have thought that.
Yeah, you're pretty fair.
It was a different movie.
You're pretty fair when it comes to that because you know what you do. The same model which you hold your version of books to movies. You hold that model for comic books to movies. So that's pretty fair, and that's what people don't understand. And I want people to listen. Lucas holds books because Lucas loves again. I love comic books. I read comic books. I watch comic movies. Lucas reads a lot of books, Stephen King novels. We went to see The Dark Tower, and Lucas said, "You know what? I can't really say this movie is that trash because again, The Dark Tower is something that is very, very hard to translate. But for this movie as itself is bad. But based off you were pretty fair with your review of The Dark Tower.
You don't compare it. I wouldn't compare it to The Dark Tower books as everybody else did.
So I gotta give you props for that. So go ahead. So Guardians, we talked about that. What's next?
Movie 2011's masterpiece.
Don't fucking call it a masterpiece.
Sucker Punch.
Okay, I'll say this. I like the visuals, and I think that's what it is.
That's about all you can say about it. Even though I know people who get
very defensive.
They get certain things with religion out of this movie. I will not go into those details because it's very long and very unnecessary.
I thought it was supposed to be girl power.
Played different. Oh, on a different level, I know people who got some things from religion out of this movie and they love it for that reason. Wow. I am not one of those people.
Interesting.
No.
It's visually. It looks good. That's where I ended on.
2013's Man of Steel.
One cut.
Now, can I count? Oh no, it's more than one cut available. You only see one cut.
I know. just let me, man.
Plus, this is one of the movies where they let him put almost every fucking thought in his head in this movie.
No. I think that was Batman v Superman. Let's. We have ways.
Speaking of that, that's the next one. Batman v Superman.
Oh no, I thought Man of Steel was good. I just thought let's go back to Man. I thought Man of Steel was good. I think there were some things.
You have a permanent hard on for Man of Steel.
But I think But you remember the discussion we had, the thing we had with Sam. I thought there were some shots.
It had flaws, but you don't admit half of the flaws that are in that movie.
It's a great movie, but with flaws.
You know what I mean?
What? I don't care.
You got a permanent hard on for that movie. I'm not going to bring that movie up with you. Already know that. So next up, Batman v Superman. Dawn of Justice.
Oh, that one is so hard because it's good and it's bad.
You know what makes it hard?
You
know what makes it hard?
Go for it.
You want it to be a good movie.
So
you
bad.
need it to be a good movie.
It has Superman in it.
It is a piece of shit.
It has Superman in it.
You know what? We're going to quickly jump to the next one, which is Justice League. Even though you don't want to give him as much credit for it, I'm going to say he probably doesn't deserve the credit, but because his name is mentioned as the director, I will give him credit for it.
Saved by the Bell?
It's good.
Saved by the Bell, yeah.
No. Saved by the Bell would insinuate that he saved.
But I think I don't know. You see, maybe it's because of all the news that has come out post Justice League that I think Zack Snyder, but anyways, I think, like I was saying for Watchmen, man, like WB, this is hard for me to admit because I love Zack Snyder.
You go, do it this way, Mo.
Okay.
First answer and then explain Zack Snyder to me in your words.
All right.
Good or not, as a director.
Damn, why do you got to do that?
We just went through all his filmography. Good or not, as a director.
Okay, can I say as a visual director, not as a storytelling director?
Nope.
Okay.
Because there's no such thing as a visual director unless you're making music videos as a director. Good or not?
Because Hype Williams is a good director. What are you talking
visually, about? He's a good visual and he makes good music videos. As a director, good or not?
Oh man, it's so hard because I like most of his movies.
So fucking easy, and you know it is, but you just, this is one of the things where you need it to be good. This is you. Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you
I'm gonna let you cook, because whatever answer you give, I'm gonna need you to explain your answer.
All right, I'll say yes. Just like that, not like a hearty yes. Like
it's good or nah. It's good or nah. Okay, I didn't hear yes anywhere.
I'll say a good. I'm not gonna give you a hard good. I'm just gonna go good, just like that.
Okay, explain to us.
I think Zack Snyder. Again, we have So you've managed to split up, two directors into music video directors.
Because the moment you say he's a great visual director, that means he should be doing music videos and music videos only. Because it does not need a story. Because the song gives the story.
No, because you're right. Because with the Watchmen opening, for whatever you think about that movie, and Justice League opening, those could be two music videos for that song,
and BVS.
For those songs, and BVS
is opening.
Those again, if you want, BVS had a classical opening with Ben Affleck talking over it, and well,
not the opening of BVS. I'm talking about the scene where the destruction happens.
Oh, you know what? That was really, really good. My bad. You're right. That was a really good one. The helicopter and him shooting the action. Yo, Zack Snyder can shoot some fucking action. Okay, but anyways, you're right. In terms of music videos, because times are changing. By Bob Dylan, right? That was a Bob Dylan song. In the opening of Watchmen, I can watch the opening of Watchmen 20 times, over and over and over, because it looks so good. The moving pictures. I can watch the opening of Justice League 10 times because everybody knows what the backdrop and everything Zack Snyder is able to do, and the way he uses some shots and the way he sees things. I think if Zack Snyder decided to work on his storytelling, he could be a really, really good director. I don't want to say one of the best, but he could be better than what we're getting from him. I think he's like one of those ones that is resting on his laurels right now. He's resting on the fact that he can present some shots, and it's like not a lot of directors can give those same shots and give those shots the meaning they need. But it's just the story behind some of his movies.
What happened if I told you that as a director of a film, a director, it's a chance that you actually shoot under 30% of your movie?
Then that changes my whole narrative.
So the question would be, how much of the movie did you think the actual director shoots?
That changes my whole narrative of filmmaking.
How much of the movie does the second unit director, who tends to be the one who normally shoots
a lot? Yeah, but is it? Doesn't the director sit? Hold on. Doesn't the director sit and storyboard?
For the most part.
Okay.
The director will set up the shots. That does not mean he's necessarily shooting the shot.
Okay, so he has. Okay, so as someone who can set, but I think there's a Zack Snyder has an action style coming from, on all those movies you've mentioned, Dawn of the Dead all the way to Justice League. There's a unique Zack Snyder thing. Can we just agree on that? In terms of shot
because
selection?
I can take someone who shoots movies almost identical to Zack Snyder. He suffers from the same issue. I'm right, I'm gonna say Michael Bay. He suffers from the same issues that Zack Snyder suffers from.
But somehow, why is Michael Bay not giving as much shit as Zack Snyder?
Michael Bay has 3 movies that's grossed $1 billion, and Zack Snyder doesn't have.
Let's not talk. Are you talking Bad Boys?
Huh?
No, Bad Boys, right?
Transformers.
Huh?
Transformers.
Oh, Transformers. Yeah. But I don't know.
Michael Bay has legitimate hits. Like
you're right.
Has legitimate hits.
You're right. Bad Boys is forever a cult. Bad Boys is forever a cult classic.
Pulled back. Michael Bay is always going to get a little bit more credit because he branches out more than Zack does.
Yeah.
But
this is true.
Also another reason he gets more credit. And the moment you finish, I'm gonna hip you to some game.
All right, but like I was saying, let me just close out. I think if Zack Snyder worked on some storytelling, or if the studio, like what happened with Dawn of the Dead, where he literally was just, in my opinion, the way I see shooting the movie, he didn't. If you take some of the creative control away from Zack Snyder, I think. If you have Zack Snyder directed by Zack Snyder, but you take the creative control away from him, I think there's a reasonable fact you can have a reasonable decent movie directed by Zack Snyder.
Okay, that's a good point, there.
So, and I just said nah. Thinking about what I just said, I really, I took the longest possible way.
Why did you think I got so quiet? When I said that's a good point there, Mo, because I wanted you to come to a conclusion. You basically just said he's not a good director.
So I took the longest possible way to say nah. What the fuck? I fucked up.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you, Mo.
But I like Zack Snyder.
I needed you to get to the point where you saw Zack Snyder for what the fuck he is. Tell people, Mo was a little bit more diplomatic in the way he said it. I'm going to tell you, Zack Snyder has absolutely no business ever directing films. Again, you should never direct films. I'm not going to go through all of his movies, but I want you to we listed all his movies for you all. I want you to think about this. How many of those movies have extended cuts to them? And why do they have extended cuts to them? Even Dawn of the Dead has an extended cut.
He just does so much.
Because here's the key part. Here's the key part, people. Now, I want you to all know this because if you don't know, to me you should know, but some of y'all don't know. When you get a movie and it says the unrated version, that's a different cut of a film. Completely different. It's unrated because that's not the cut they submitted to get rated for the movie to be released. So that means that movie has scenes in it that you won't see in the theater cut of the film.
Yeah.
Which in turn makes it an extended cut. Zack Snyder has almost made an extended cut on every film he's ever released. But Dawn of the Dead, and say, yes, that's when Zack Snyder started. That's when Warner Brothers had faith in him coming off of music videos and say, hey, we can put this movie under you because you're a young director, it's a remake. Whether it succeeds or fails, no one really cares because it's a horror movie. At the time, horror movies was not big for anybody then. It hits. Once it hits, Warner Brothers gives him his own film production company.
That's Cruel Intentions.
At the same time, yes. At the same time, while he's married, he meets his future wife,
Debbie.
Yes. And this is where we get to the interesting part of Mrs. Snyder and Mrs. Snyder's story. So, Miss Snyder, not Mr. Snyder, Miss Snyder becomes an executive producer on 300. For you all that don't know, an executive producer is not someone who actually has control over shit. Executive producer is really just a title that you give to somebody, normally someone who's attached to whatever film production company is involved with getting the film made. Because Warner Brothers attached Zack's film company with getting 300 made, she got an executive producer credit, and then you get 300. I would say 300 is a bad movie every day, all day, but I do understand how it's shot, what it's supposed to represent. Some of you all really do like the film. I'm gonna give in and get that to y'all and say, okay, y'all like it. 300 is a good movie. Here's the downfall. Miss Snyder moves from executive producer to producer on the Watchmen, Sucker Punch, Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League. The only movie I left out of that is Owls, because on Legend of the Owls, she went back to being an executive producer. Again, in your head position. This is why this matters. A producer has a lot of impact on the way films are made. Because the producer tells you, no, you can't shoot this. Yes, you can shoot this. This is how we're going to do. These are the shots we're going to set up for the day.
So you think
what do you think
yes
happens? What do you think happens when your wife, who's also co-owner of your film production company, becomes the main producer on all your films?
Yes, man.
Do you fucking think she's going to tell him no on anything? Do you think it's a coincidence that the movies that she's the producer on has the most unused footage out of all his other movies? Because a producer is the one who tells you, no, we're not going to shoot that shot. Let's move on. No, the budget is here. We can reduce budget here by not shooting this. That's the producer's job. The producer is to set up how you shoot stuff. The director does a storyboard. He will get with his second unit director and stuff and set up shots. That producer is supposed to come in and be like, we don't have time to shoot that shot. Mm-hmm. Why do we need to shoot this shot for this movie? It does not make sense. That's the producer's job. But when the producer is married to you and the producer does not tell you no on anything, you get to shoot every fucking thing you want to shoot. And because of that reason, we get multiple cuts of every movie she's the producer on, which means she never told him no.
Okay.
But why would she tell him no?
I can see that.
Do you think
because
he put her in a place to be his producer so she would tell him no? No. That's why you had 3 fucking different cuts of The Watchmen. Matter of fact, I'm waiting for somebody to explain to me, after the debacle that The Watchmen was, how the fuck did he get his hands on Man of Steel? I know y'all what y'all thinking, because Warner Brothers thought he could shoot a hell of a movie. No, people. He only got his hands on Man of Steel because 3 directors passed on it. Mm-hmm. And he was in that second tier of directors they were looking at for that film. And he was the one who said yes. Because if Del Toro would have said yes, it was the first, Shit. He was the first person they went to for Man of Steel. And because of time crunch, he couldn't do it. The next one was Robert Zemeckis. Because of a time crunch, again, he couldn't do it. Here's the thing, people who really, really like Superman, Matt Reeves was one of the people they went to direct Man of Steel.
The Apes, Matt Reeves?
They won. Yes, the same one they gave Planet of the Apes series is one of the people they went to direct Man of Steel. In the process before they picked Zack Snyder. Hell, so it's Ben Affleck. He was one of the people they went to direct Man of Steel. Again, before it got into the hands of Zack Snyder. It puzzles me that in the end they went with a guy who already proved that he would overshoot the fuck out of a movie and over budget it. And then you got surprised when he did it with Man of Steel. Then you got even more surprised on a larger level when he did it with BVS. But then all of it, there's a common person in here, common blame point. Emperor Snyder is the producer on all of these projects. The one, if you all have not seen the series Project Greenlight that comes on HBO with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, especially the early seasons where they had Christopher Moore on, and you realize that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were executive producers on the film, and Christopher Moore was the producer on the film. And you would see him on set telling the director, no, we got to do this. No, we got to do that. No, we got to do that. Even on the last season where they had the young black woman who was the producer, and they did that horrible film for HBO, and she was doing the same thing to the director. Like, no, this is how we got to shoot this shot. This is the time we have. Why are we shooting this extra shot? That makes no sense here. Let's just shoot this, shoot what we have, put that together first, and then see if we need any extra shots. Zack Snyder does not have that. Zack Snyder has a producer who says, sure, honey, what you want to do? And because of it, you get the fucking shit that you get, because Zack Snyder, as Moe brilliantly said, is a visual director. In other words, he's a movie video director that never evolved from music videos, which normally happens. Music video directors can have that evolution where they become great directors because they know how to direct people. So when you see the promise and when they make music videos and you see the way they can move around people, you thinking they can handle a major motion picture. Zack Snyder does not do that. He does not do that at all. There's not a single film where you can say Zack directed, but he pulled a performance out of an actor. No. All those actors are pulling performances out of his shots. And that's completely opposite than what you're supposed to get your director to do.
Mm-hmm.
Zack Snyder, ladies and gentlemen, not only is he a bad director, I'm blaming 50% on him, 40% on Deborah Snyder, and the rest of it on Warner Brothers because they allowed him to do this. You gave him a film production company after his first movie and then allowed him to pick the people who were going to produce the films that he was going to make for a year.
Yeah,
in return, he picked his wife.
I think
when he picked his wife and took away the one fucking thing that studios have in their pocket when they make these films for these directors is a producer, a strong one who will keep that director in line.
In check, yeah.
And then you don't get Zack Snyder. So because my answer, Mo, is nah. He's not a good director. He's not at all a good director. Not even fucking close. Michael Bay. Here's the thing, and I use Michael Bay as a comparison for a reason. Michael Bay shoots a lot of shit movies. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to have an argument that Michael Bay does not shoot shit movies. But you know what Michael Bay has proven to have an ability to do?
Direct people.
Produce the fuck out of movies.
Oh, no. He's a dope producer. Fuck producing movies. Did you ever watch the show on Starz, Black Sails?
Yes.
Do you know how much shit people were giving that show before it came out? That, this is a Michael Bay show. It's going to have explosions coming out of everywhere. Dog, that show ran for 4 seasons, steady numbers after Spartacus, what was going to happen to Starz? That show ran with steady numbers.
When people compare Michael Bay and Zack Snyder, just look at their first 3 films. Right? Zack started off with Promise with Dawn of the Dead, even the 300, which and then he gave you the clusterfuck that was Watchmen.
Yeah.
Now, when you compare his first 3 to Michael Bay's first 3, Michael Bay's first 3 was Bad Boys 1, The Rock with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage, and Armageddon.
Wow.
Once you see the promise that he had in those movies, again, Michael Bay made shit movies after that. You got Pearl Harbor, which was shit. Bad Boys 2, which could be one of the worst movies I've seen in my entire life. The Island wasn't that bad. And then you got a bunch of Transformers films. So when people shit on Michael Bay, they shitting on Michael Bay because of the Transformers film. Not understanding, he literally made those movies to make money. It ain't like the guy was out here thinking he could do something else. But then look at, people try to give Michael Bay shit for Ninja Turtles. Most people not knowing that he didn't direct the Ninja Turtles at all. So that had shit to do with him. But those are the same ones who you don't give him credit for. Like I Am Number 4, which was a pretty decent movie to me. Yeah, kind of like that movie. But
I like that. I actually liked it.
The whole Purge series is Michael Bay's series.
Yes, and people.
You see, no one gives him credit for that.
None. How can you? It doesn't say directed. Yeah, it doesn't say directed by. It's his.
The last Ouija movie, which I've said
Michael Bay
multiple times on multiple podcasts.
Yep,
it's one of the best horror movies made in the last 5 to 10 years. That movie is fucking amazing. Michael Bay produced film. Michael Bay knows how to produce a film. Michael Bay kind of knows how to direct people in films. He ain't always good at it, but sometimes he can pull it out. I'm going to tell you, Zack Snyder has never shown the ability to pull out anything from somebody that he's directed. And that's the problem. And until he fires his wife as his producer, and he gets a strong-willed producer, because Michael Bay was at his best when Jerry Bruckheimer was his producer, because those movies, while they were directed by Michael Bay, they were Jerry Bruckheimer films. So he had to set up Michael Bay. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. You need a good producer. As an inexperienced director, you need a good producer. Zack Snyder is still inexperienced no matter how many films he shoots, because he's not used to having an answer to a producer who's going to tell him what he can and can't do.
Can I say something?
Because of it, the shit that he's producing.
Can I say something? He did this iPhone movie. You know, this was something huge. He did an iPhone movie. Silent film.
Yep.
Which, it's a 4-minute movie, which is, in my opinion, how the fuck does Zack Snyder shoot a 4-minute movie? And you have to understand, I'm not even trying to shade him, because I like Zack Snyder. But it was really good. Silent 4-minute movie that was straight to the point. which is what I think Zack Snyder needs to learn how to do. It's straight to the point. Or
you ever been in your head all the time? You ever been to work, Mo, and you're like all in your head on a day? You just can't focus, and you're trying to do everything at one time.
Yep. That's
Zack Snyder every time.
He puts everything. Like, I think Batman v Superman was the one time that I stood back and I was like, damn. I mean, granted, Watchmen had 3 cuts, almost 4 hour cut, but I can forgive Watchmen because it's like you said when we're talking about Watchmen TV series.
It's hard to adapt.
It's yes. So I'll excuse that.
But when I say it's hard to adapt, I meant because if you want to go the straight comic book route, there's no way possible you need a 4 hour cut of anything. You don't need a 3 hour cut of anything to explain the Watchmen. In all honesty, a great director knows how to pull the essence out of what you're reading and putting it into a story. It's not my job to give you everything that the comic book has. And that's the issue with Zack Snyder. He does not understand it's not your job to give someone everything. Mm-hmm. I like V versus Vendetta. You know how many people say that thing is not as close to the comic books, but it gets some of the essence of the characters that they like? That's all you need.
But you know what? That's the thing. You know, for you don't care about. You see, that's the thing. That's okay. This is where I have my problems with the comic book community, because I'm starting to have a lot of problems with them, and it is mostly because of the DCEU and Zack Snyder. And it's like I'm starting to almost hate Zack Snyder. I don't like the guy. Warner Brothers, again, this is the thing. For you and for a lot of other people, you guys don't care about what is on the pages of the comic book. Give me a decent movie with these silly characters, as we've said, on TV. You know who the silliest comic book character to me is? Batman.
Superman?
No, not even Superman. Fucking Batman.
Could be Superman.
No. I'll say Batman. You want to know why I say Batman?
Why?
Dressed like a bat. This was a running joke in the movie Justice League. Think about it.
It's a running joke in every Batman movie. If you think about it, it's a running joke in every Batman movie that he's just like a bat.
Bruh, in 89 Batman, is there a 6-foot Batman in the city? He is dressed like a fucking bat. But somehow, Christopher Nolan took a silly ass character like Batman, took a silly ass character like the Joker,
made him so serious,
and somehow pulled from Heath Ledger.
I'm gonna ask you this question, Mo.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you this question. It's a very good question to me.
Go for it.
We all credit Zack Snyder for his visuals.
Yes.
At what point are we going to stop crediting him for them and start crediting the visual effects supervisor he's worked on every one of his movies?
Oh no. I think his photographers, his visual people.
That's the style. But think about it. When you said he's a great visual director,
we're
openly admitting that he can't do, like, the visuals for a director is 20 or 25% or less of the job of the director.
But he has an eye for these things, man. Come on, let's be real.
Here's the thing.
You have to be able to.
And why wouldn't he be a visual effects supervisor? Because that's literally what directors hire, is people who have an eye for something of that nature.
He wants to be a director. I mean, you can't.
He may want to be something.
Yeah.
I want to be the president. That don't mean I'm going to be able to be the president. Zack Snyder may want to be a director. He ain't got no business being a director.
Look.
No business being a director at this point, man.
It's
you don't
sad.
think his ass back somewhere?
Like, I'll say this. It's like I was saying. It's really sad that our community claims, because at this point I'm not going to say they. The Zack Snyder.
Fucking just say it, Mo. These fucking idiots are claiming that they want to see a 3-hour cut.
And it's pissing me off, because you want to know why? Because if you
hour of fluff to a movie,
not even that. I don't even want to talk about the fluff. I want to talk about, they claim they love these characters and they support DC, but it seems like you're not supporting DC. You're supporting the one person who the rest. Hold on. Who the rest of the world, who the rest of the comic book viewing world has said we don't fuck with. makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. I'll say this. I'm not prefacing anything. I'm just saying this straight up. Love the characters. Support DC. If you support DC and the characters, it doesn't matter who they bring. Like, with the exception of it, again, like Zack Snyder at this point is poison to the DC universe. The critics have told you that. And WB is responding to it by what they did in Justice League. You know what? Let me say this. The best DCEU movie, the best DC movie since 2008 till today, were not directed by Zack Snyder. The best DC movie that might come out next year is not going to be directed by Zack Snyder.
And the following year. It's not going to happen.
You know, doesn't that make sense to you? The one that
can't make up his
what
mind.
pisses me off is the one that DCEU fans say is the worst movie in the DCEU was not directed by Zack Snyder. And I think, again, a lot of comic book fans are swayed by visuals. You got to look at it this way. We all read comic books. When you're reading a comic book, you're looking at those pictures and you're imagining, all of that happening.
Are they swayed by visuals, Mo, or length?
I don't. What's funny?
Again, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna try not to say it disrespectfully.
Okay.
Comic book fans are like a woman who says, "Man, I'm looking and searching for the longest, biggest guy I can find." That's comic book fans,
right?
Not understanding that just because something's bigger and longer does not necessarily mean it's going to lead to more pleasure for you. That's what Zack Snyder gives you. He gives you big, long movies that make no sense because in the end, you're still not going to compete with that other studio that you're also focusing on. They're not going to compete because they know making long movies don't make movies better. They have directors, or they're controlling their directors to the point they're like, dude, you're not shooting all this unnecessary shit. Zack Snyder shoots everything unnecessary. Again, it's extended cuts to almost every film this man's ever made. Why the fuck is there extended cuts to everything you make? That tells me you're a director who can't make your mind up. Because when Patty Jenkins came out and they asked, is it extended cut of Wonder Woman? And she said no.
No, I shot everything I needed to shoot.
Everything I needed to shoot, I shot. That's the answer right there. It's telling you that's how you make the film. I don't need to say, hey, man, you know what would be awesome if I shoot this? Hey, let's shoot this. It would be awesome if I shoot this. Hey, let's shoot this. Because it brings up another issue, too, that most people don't pay attention to. If Zack Snyder has the time to shoot all of these extra bullshit scenes, it's because he's rushing through the ones that he's actually shooting. So when people say, and when you read from critics and they say, I sat through one of these movies and it's like I couldn't breathe for 2 hours. It's because it's constant. He's fucking constantly hitting you, and not constantly hitting you with action. It does not have to be action. It's just constant. It's like you're not giving people. You got to give actors a time in films to breathe. A time where it seems like the character is relaxed and in a natural environment. You've never gotten that in a Zack Snyder movie, and you never will, because for him to have that, for him to be able to turn in films on time and to shoot all these extra scenes is because he's rushing through shit. He's like, okay, action. We got it. Next scene. That's what, and you can tell because when these movies are edited, that's how it edits that way. It feels that way. That's why Henry's performance in Man of Steel was as bad as it was, because Henry can actually act. I've seen a director pull out a performance from him. I just haven't seen Zack Snyder pull a performance out of him. And that's the problem.
You know what? So, you know something that's funny that I just learned.
Zack Snyder.
I just learned that BVS had reshoots with Ben Affleck directing them. Ben Affleck directed his reshoots for BVS.
That was a big thing that came out around the time that BVS came out that did that. And that's part of the reason why initially
they gave him Batman.
Signed on to direct the Batman.
Yeah, but it's difficult
because he had to do it, because he was terrified that another director would come in and do what Zack did with BVS.
But I think
until
Matt Reeves,
Warner Brothers realized that they was going to remove. Because keep in mind, people who think it's a coincidence that Ben dropped out of Batman and you thinking that meant that he was going to be replaced when they hired Matt Reeves. No,
Right.
no.
Mhm.
Everything changed after behind the scenes while Justice League was shooting.
And
Warner Brothers changed everything on Zack and said, no. We will not leave you alone with this universe. We're going to bring in this person. We're going to bring in this person. Because once you start bringing in people, a guy like Ben Affleck has Oscars for directing and who has a claim for directing, and you tell him basically, going to put people in charge who are going to be able to actually direct these films. He got comfortable. But at that point, he has no issue stepping away. Because how many of these comic book people understand that Josh was brought in not when Zack's daughter passed away.
Oh, it was before.
He was brought in months before him.
He already started rewriting. Yeah.
Right. Shit in Justice League. And he was brought on while Zack was there because, as Zack said in the article, Zack is the one who brought him on to rewrite scenes in Justice League.
Bro, I feel like we're pulling a whole Zack Snyder right here, where we're just going on. We're going in on this one. This episode, we went in on this episode because what was the first topic? We've really gone in on this episode. I feel like, we need to cut it off right here because I feel like we could go on and on and on and on, especially on this one. I always said
on Zack Snyder.
So I'm still, on my I like Zack Snyder.
You may like him, Mo, but you already gave your nod. When you said he's a visual director, but he can't really do much, you already gave it your nod.
No,
he's not wrong with liking someone who's and liking someone, but also admitting that they're not a good director.
Which, I keep telling comic book people or, especially DCEU people that, like the characters, like the DC universe, like what you get, like the movies you get. In a way, they do make these movies for you, but they also have to make, mass appeal. But I'll end this right here by saying this. None of you can tell me that if the general public don't like Zack Snyder, the critics don't like Zack Snyder, that they're being biased. Like, if people who don't read comic books or, look too deep, like, the biggest thing that scares me is comic book movies are not supposed to be funny. They're supposed to be deep. They're supposed to be this, that, and the third. You're supposed to add, like, the whole Christ element in Superman, which is a thing for Superman. He's a god, but Donner did it without adding the Christ element. You can
do Superman without adding the Christ element. You just need a director who is able to pull a performance out of all the actors involved with it.
Because I would say
makes sense. Hey, I'm champion for Mel Gibson.
Henry for Suicide Squad.
For Man of Steel 2.
Henry Cavill in Justice League.
Completely different character.
Yes, that's I was looking for a way to say it without saying.
Hey, get Josh to do it. If they smart, out of all those rumors that Josh was leaving and he's not, he's still going to do Batgirl.
I gotta send you. I gotta send you a picture.
I'm Warner Brothers.
I gotta send you a picture.
Warner Brothers. I would beg them. I would beg him. I say, hey, I know you want to do Batgirl, but if we also told you we would give you free range to do whatever you want to do with Superman, would you do it?
Jesus.
I would give it to him.
I'm kind of scared to see what Joss could do with a Superman movie.
Granted, it may go too far.
Yes,
it's a chance it's going to go way too far.
It will. It'd be.
At least it'll reboot it from the character that he is now. Mm-hmm. And that Zack created. Unless you get a guy like Mel Gibson to do it, because I think he would give a fucking interesting take on Superman.
Oh my god!
But again,
can you imagine? Because Mel Gibson will touch the Christ-like, person that is Superman.
He would wear that shit like a mantle.
Oh my god! But he will give you. But he will give you powers.
He will give you humor. He will give you humor. Because Mel can give you humor.
Yes, there'd be a balance.
In films that need it. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if he did it because Superman should have humor. But he should also have powers. You're supposed to see his powers. Which
he's going to pull back on it where it's just not destruction over destruction over destruction. There's not too many directors who can shoot an action scene better than Mel Gibson right now.
I'll go with you.
You doubt me? Just watch Hacksaw Ridge.
No. That's why I said I'll go with you. Oh, Hacksaw. Hacksaw was pretty... You know what? We're ending this episode because we can talk about movies forever. Thank you for listening to our very long episode of Lucas and Moe versus the world. This was a very interesting versus episode because we went versus the comic book world and the Zack Snyder loving world with, you know, give me my Zack Snyder cut, which I don't get. I will never get. I will never understand that because I am perfectly happy with what we got in the theaters. And I feel like for the studio to complete their move, they should not do a Zack Snyder cut, because if you give us another, if you think that you're going to milk, I won't see it. I'll say it right now, right here, right now, I will not see a Zack Snyder cut in the movie. I don't want a Zack Snyder cut in the movie. I like the cut I got in theaters. The only thing I would say, some of the visual effects felt rushed because, again, you had to reshoot more than 30% of the movie, you know. But yeah, let us know. You know, Zack Snyder, good or not? Let us know what you think down in the comment section below. Ant-Man and the Wasp, what are your predictions? The Watchmen, is it really necessary? And has The Walking Dead jumped the shark? I said yes. I said yes to Watchmen, and you already heard what my prediction to Ant-Man is. And in a funny way, I said nah to Zack Snyder being good or not. I'm really excited.
Lucas actually say he's looking forward to Ant-Man. I need everybody to know that.
Oh yeah, which is funny.
That I'm looking forward to Ant-Man.
Which, yeah, I need to point that out because, again, this is Lucas that does not look forward to any comic book movie. Have you ever looked forward to a comic book movie? No, right? No. Well, since I know you, you've never. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Because I didn't know you then, but since I've known you, you've never looked forward to a comic book movie. So hearing you say, I'm looking forward to Ant-Man, kind of like threw me off. But you know what? Fuck it. This is going to be fun. Come back next week when we talk about a bunch of cinematic universes and we talk about Oscars and shit. So we're going to have a lot more for you next week. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. drops on Friday today. But I put something up on Thursday for the from New York Comic Con. For those of you that watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I have something for you from the creatives and the cast from New York Comic Con. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know how you felt about everything down in the comment section. Again, this was a long one. I hope you guys listened. Thank you for listening. From your boy Mo Crosby and from your boy Lucas, we are out. Peace.